Revealed. Millionaire's heartwarming transformation after discovering his unique child's color. Jack Thompson seemed to have it all: money, respect, a picture-perfect life. His shiny SUV glided through Maplewood, where every neighbor waved and greeted him with smiles. But beneath that polished exterior, Jack was grappling with his greatest challenge. His daughter, Mia. She was a burst of colors in a world trying to dull her shine. At just 10, her wild curls and glimmering brown skin expressed a beauty that often went unnoticed, especially in their seemingly harmonious neighborhood. One sunny afternoon at the local park, Mia displayed her vivid drawings on the playground. The sunlight danced off her creations, a tapestry of wild colors and dreams. But like clouds blotting the sun, dark taunts from a group of kids washed over her, their cruel words slicing through the moment. Tears streamed down her face, transforming her radiant smile into a heartbreaking sight. Jack's chest tightened as he witnessed the laughter of children twist into a weapon, pointing at Mia's unique beauty. As they walked home, Jack felt helpless. He tried to comfort her, but every word felt empty. The community that had once held him in high regard was now holding a mirror of prejudice that he had been too blind to see. He realized he had unknowingly echoed judgments ingrained from his upbringing. His instincts told him to protect Mia, but he felt trapped in a world of privilege that muttered silence on such issues. In the weeks that followed, the annual art fair loomed like a dark cloud over his heart. Jack wrestled with attending, fearing more heartache lay in wait. But deep down he felt a shift inside. He remembered how vibrant her art was and how important it was for her to be seen and heard. It was time to step up, to show Mia he loved every part of her. When the day of the art fair arrived, Jack walked alongside Mia, his heart pounding anxiously. She seemed radiant, a small warrior preparing to unveil her soul. As she revealed her artwork, each canvas spoke volumes, bold messages calling for inclusion and respect. The crowd gathered, mesmerized by her fierce spirit. Gasps of admiration surged through the air, their positivity igniting a fire within Jack. In that moment, surrounded by a wave of support, he felt a transformation. His heart swelled with pride and an unexpected purpose. Mia's artwork was not just a series of colors, it was her voice, challenging societal norms and sparking conversations he had long avoided. The depths of his own biases stirred within him, revealing the work he needed to do. As they embraced, Jack found himself at a precipice. Would he truly reshape his values to champion Mia's uniqueness? They stood together, a father and daughter, facing the uncharted journey ahead. A wave of uncertainty washed over him as he recognized the urgency of parental love, the need for acceptance in a world still marred by judgments. Could Jack become the advocate Mia deserved, or would the echoes of his past haunt their future? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With love and fear coursing through his veins, Jack faced the murmur of onlookers, each expression conveying admiration for Mia's strength. Could his heart truly embrace her diversity, paving the way for a brighter future? As the fair buzzed with acceptance, Mia stood proud, her vibrant spirit shining the brightest. Now, Jack had to confront the true battle, his own self-acceptance and the fight against the silent prejudices lingering in their lives. The journey was just beginning. Would he rise to meet it? As the art fair came to a close, the warm evening sunlight cast a golden hue across the park, and the air buzzed with the energy of the community coming together. Jack watched as parents and kids mingled, laughter rolling like a soft tide that washed away the earlier tension. It warmed his heart to see Mia accepted, celebrated, even a stark contrast to the hurt from just weeks prior. There was magic in the acceptance that hung in the air, and he couldn't help but think of all the moments Mia had to endure, moments made infinitely more painful because of a society that often favored conformity over uniqueness. But those thoughts hung heavy on him. Jack felt like he was standing on the edge of a cliff, gazing down into the depths of his own biases. He wanted to be the father Mia needed, a champion for her extraordinary spirit, but how could he, when the fight started within him? Could he truly throw away years of ingrained beliefs that didn't serve either of them? Mia, cheered a voice, drawing him back to the present. One of Mia's friends approached, tugging his daughter away for fun and games, laughter trailing behind them. Floor paints splashed, brightening the sidewalk as children ran wild, and Jack couldn't help but smile at the innocence of their joy. The days following the art fair jetted by like snapshots in a vibrant photo album. Jack now made it routine to talk to Mia about her art, her dreams, and the world around them. "You know, Dad," she said one afternoon, her voice bright and buoyant, "I think my art can change things. Not just for me, but for other kids too." Her belief filled him with a profound sense of pride. Yet, there was a quiet nagging in the back of his mind. Could she really make that kind of impact? Could he? Spurred by his daughter's courage, Jack decided to host a community meeting at their local library, something he had never done before. He wanted to gather parents to discuss acceptance and diversity. The moment he pressed send on the email invitation, he felt his stomach knot. What if no one showed? What if they did show but dismissed him, questioning his place in this conversation? The day of the meeting arrived, heavy with clouds that threatened rain. Jack stood in front of a small group, a circle of expectant faces in folding chairs. Mia, sitting beside him, gave him a reassuring smile, her little hand reaching for his. "Just speak from your heart," she whispered, and the warmth of it melted some of his fears as he spoke. Words stumbled and danced out of his mouth, raw and genuine. He shared his journey, how witnessing the pain Mia faced had opened his eyes. He recounted her beautiful art, and how it had challenged him, forcing him to confront the silent judgments he had carried. The audience shifted, leaning in, captivated by a man vulnerable enough to change, to question his own biases. Nervous murmurs began, but they transformed into meaningful discussions. Questions arose, experiences shared, and Jack sensed a shift occurred within the room. This was not just his journey. It was theirs too, an unfolding narrative of a community grappling with its own prejudices. As the meeting drew to a close, Jack felt exhilarated yet exhausted. He had taken the first step toward something bigger. As he looked at Mia, her eyes alight with hope, he knew the fight was far from over. They were not just advocates for change. They were the change. But as they headed home, the shadows twisted just beyond the park's lights. A group of kids loomed in the distance, laughing, but it felt like the laughter they had bargained with just weeks before. Would they push back? Would they challenge the new path Jack and Mia were trying to carve in their community? Jack's heart raced at what lay ahead. Could they weather those storms together? The next few days were a whirlwind for Jack and Mia. They found themselves more engaged in their community than ever before. Jack worked to turn the momentum from the meeting into something tangible. He set up art workshops at the library for children like Mia, giving them a safe space to express themselves. Each Sunday, they painted, drew, and crafted their imaginations onto canvas, color bursting around them as laughter filled the air. "Look, Dad, this is how I see the world," Mia exclaimed one day, holding up a canvas splashed with vibrant yellows and blues. It looked like a sunrise, but with shapes and figures that danced upon it. Jack's heart swelled with pride as he admired her work. But beneath that pride lay the anxiety from the meeting. He was hopeful but still wondering if there were others who felt the same tension he had once held. Could they all shake off the biases that had stuck to them over the years? The question churned inside him as he watched the children paint. That Friday evening, while watching the news, Jack felt knots tighten in his stomach as a local reporter covered a new incident of bullying at the middle school. A boy had been targeted for his differences. The report swallowed him whole, a grim reminder that Mia and kids like her still face challenges. "Dad?" Mia's soft question pulled him from his thoughts. "What's wrong?" He sighed, unsure how to explain the conflict brewing inside him. "Just thinking about the stories we hear, sweetheart. It's hard to stomach sometimes." Mia studied him, her eyes wide with understanding. "But we are making it better, right? At our workshops?" "Yes, we are," he said, placing his hand on hers. "You're right. We are making a difference. Just need to keep pushing through. That Saturday, at the workshop, Jack shared the news report with the kids, asking if they had stories of their own to share. One by one, they painted their stories, pouring their emotions into their work. Mia's painting took on new colors: her anger, her sadness, blooming through her brush as she expressed how it felt to be different. Jack watched, unable to hold back tears as he saw the resilience in her strokes. Later, a father approached Jack, looking slightly hesitant. I've noticed my son hasn't joined since the last workshop. I'd love to talk. His voice shook with apprehension. We've discussed the bullying, and I'm worried and maybe I've been a part of the problem. Jack felt a mix of dread and hope ripple through him. Was this father ready to confront his biases? They stepped aside, heads leaning in close. The conversation opened up a path for connection, a vulnerability shared in that moment as they both stepped into the light together, hoping to better understand one another. But outside the library, just as they wrapped up, Jack spotted the group of kids who had laughed in the park. Their demeanor was different this time, more charged with energy and mischief. The warnings of how they had taunted Mia in the past hung thick in the air, stinging Jack's insides. His heart raced as he scanned their faces. "Dad," Mia called, running over to him, her art supplies bumping against her. "Can we go draw in the park?" The shadows flickered in the fading light, and Jack's gut nodded again. Would they be faced with the same cruelty again? Or had they truly paved the way for something new? As they stepped toward the park, he took a deep breath, wishing for the strength to support her, to shield her if needed. "Let us go." But as they approached, laughter erupted, carrying something darker with it. Would Mia find courage in the face of old fears? Would Jack find the resolve to face difficult truths yet again? The moment loomed closer, and Jack knew he needed to fight for Mia. But what would that fight look like this time? The laughter hit Jack like a cold wave as he held Mia's hand, her small fingers gripping tightly. He could feel her excitement mixed with uncertainty, a swirling storm of emotions as they approached the group. The kids were gathered in a loose circle, whispered words erupting into fits of giggles, their eyes darting over to Jack and Mia. "Look, Dad, they seem different," Mia said, her voice a mix of hope and fear. Jack stopped, scanning the group. He noticed one boy, standing slightly apart, shifting nervously but watching them with curious eyes. Jack felt a flicker of unease. Were these the same kids who had taunted Mia? Would he have to shield her from laughter that could cut deeply? But then he noticed something else. A couple of the kids from the group were holding drawings, bright pictures that illustrated a new perspective. They had painted their own feelings and thoughts, just like Mia had done in the workshop. The boy glanced to his side, his drawing almost a reflection of the messages Jack had tried to spread in the last few weeks. "Hey," Jack said loud enough to catch their attention. He felt the weight of their gaze settle on him. "What were you working on?" The circle shrank slightly, the energy shifting from hostile to hesitant. The boy with the drawing stepped forward, pencil in hand. "It's my view of summer," he said, his voice steadying. "I made a sun that looks like, my favorite kind of ice cream." His cheeks flushed a deep crimson, but he continued, determination shining through. "Maybe it's a bit weird, but it's how I see it." The laughter died down, replaced by a genuine curiosity. Jack felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. "It's unique, just like you. And it sounds delicious," he replied, encouragingly. Mia stiffened beside him, her eyes darting between Jack and the boy. "Can I see?" she asked, stepping forward. The boy hesitated but then nodded, offering his drawing. "I love it," Mia exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. "Can I show you my painting too?" The boy's eyes widened. "Yeah, I want to see that." Jack cast a quick glance at Mia. Maybe, just maybe, this was a moment that could shift the dynamic. He watched as she began pointing at her bright colors, explaining every stroke with enthusiasm. The kids abandoned their past laughter, crowded around her, intrigued by her passion. Jack felt the world around him grow still. It was as if time had paused to give them space. The air transformed, the laughter morphing into something warmer. The previous tension ebbed, replaced by genuine interest and camaraderie. Mia was not just a target anymore, she was an artist just like them. Then from the back, Jack heard a murmur. A girl near the edge of the circle whispered loudly enough to carry, "I don't want to be different anymore." Her expression was anxious, and her eyes filled with a vulnerability that struck Jack to the core. As Mia continued to share her work, Jack felt the weight of that statement settle over him. What did it mean to truly embrace individuality? Was it something to celebrate or fear? The question loomed heavily in the air as he contemplated how deeply rooted perceptions were sometimes shielded by childlike innocence. Mia, oblivious to the undercurrents of their conversation, smiled brightly. Being different is how we get colors in the world. Jack watched her shine, and in that moment he understood. The fight wasn't just against the laughter that could hurt, but for every unique heart trying to find a place. They needed to break the silence that held them captive and turn it into a shared creative energy. But even as camaraderie sparked, he noticed the flicker behind their smiles. Were they ready to embrace this newfound understanding? As the afternoon light dimmed, the echoes of laughter surrounded them. But was this warmth merely a fleeting moment? Jack felt a swell of hope as he took a step back, unsure yet eager to see what would unfold next. Would they allow the colors to flow together or retreat into the shadows again? What would emerge from their shared vulnerability? As he pulled Mia closer, Jack realized their journey was only just beginning. The sun dipped lower, coloring the sky with shades of orange and pink as the group grew more engaged. Laughter still bubbled up, but it had transformed into a shared joy, echoing like music in the air. Jack watched as Mia animatedly spoke, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Look at this tree," she pointed to her drawing. "It has purple leaves, just like the ones in my favorite storybook." The kids leaned in closer, truly interested. Jack felt a rush of relief wash over him. Every giggle now felt like a note in a symphony, building towards something beautiful. The boy with the summer drawing, Tim, nodded vigorously. "I love telling stories through my art too. It's like sharing a piece of me." Mia beamed. "We should make a big mural together. A mural of all our favorite things." Jack's heart swelled at her enthusiasm. She was reaching out not just to Tim but to everyone. A connection fluttered like a kite caught in the breeze among the kids, weaving them together with threads of creativity. "What if we painted a garden?" asked a shy girl with tousled hair, stepping forward tentatively. "A garden where everyone is welcomed, no matter how different." Jack felt a lump in his throat. This was more than just art, it was a chance for healing and understanding. It was an opportunity to redefine what it meant to be together, to embrace every unique shade that painted their world. He cleared his throat, wanting to keep the momentum going. "That sounds incredible. You all have such unique perspectives. Imagine the colors, the stories. It could be something really special." The group buzzed with excitement. Jack felt a sense of pride swell within him. These kids were discovering strength in numbers. They were learning that seeking friendship didn't diminish their individuality. Rather, it enriched it. But then he noticed the girl who had spoken before her face, shadowed by uncertainty. She shifted from foot to foot, her expression betraying her insecurity as she tried to join in. Jack's heart tugged. "Maya," he said gently, drawing her attention. "What about you? What do you want to paint?" Maya hesitated, then took a deep breath, as if the words were heavy but necessary. I like the ocean," she whispered, "but the waves scare me. I don't want to be different. I want to fit in." The air shifted again, heavier, punctuated by silences of so many hearts holding their breath. Suddenly, there was a collective empathy toward Maya, the tension morphing into something more profound. Jack's heart raced, his mind racing to find the right words. "Maya," he said softly, "you are unique. And that uniqueness is what could make a beautiful wave in our ocean. If we didn't have different kinds of waves, how boring would the water be? It's the differences that make it interesting. You don't have to hide. We're all different here." Maya's eyes began to shimmer, like sunlight bouncing off water. Slowly, she nodded, a small smile breaking through her uncertainty. The kids began to respond, sharing their own fears and dreams, wrapped in a tapestry of vulnerability. Jack couldn't help but feel overwhelmed with pride for Mia. For them all. They were showing each other their hearts, layer by fragile layer. Just then, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a twilight glow. As the laughter began to rise again, more authentic this time, Jack marveled at what had just unfolded. Bonds were being forged stronger than before. They were no longer just children. They were creators, storytellers, explorers of their emotions. But then the question hit him. Would this moment of connection last? Would they hold onto these revelations as the night embraced them? As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Jack squeezed Mia's hand. Let us see if we can make this garden together, one brushstroke at a time. Mia smiled wide, and Jack felt that familiar tug at his heart. Could they build a community that embraced differences openly? The air was thick with unspoken promises and the anticipation of what lay ahead. Would they be brave enough to test their newfound connections, or would fear pull them back into silence? The moon hung high, a bright sentinel illuminating the darkened playground. Under its glow, the children huddled closer, their excitement bubbling just beneath the surface. Jack felt the warmth of their collective energy, a magnetic force drawing everyone together as they brainstormed ideas for their mural. What if we painted a rainbow? Tim suggested, his voice full of enthusiasm. A rainbow that stretches across the whole wall and connects everything. That's perfect. Mia jumped in. They were feeding off each other's creativity, firing off ideas like sparks flying from a flame. And we can have different animals in each color, like a purple unicorn and a green dragon. The imaginative possibilities ignited their laughter anew. But Jack noticed Maya again. She stood a little off to the side, her fingers twisting nervously in her shirt. He recognized that look. It was all too familiar. It was the same look he saw on his own daughter whenever she felt unsafe in a new environment. Maya, he called out, aiming to draw her back into their creative whirlwind. What about you? Want to help us choose the colors? The weight of 1,000 eyes felt heavy, and Maya's expression shifted between uncertainty and determination. Could I paint the ocean part? The waves? Yes. Mia beamed encouragingly. And we can use real blue paint to make it look real. But hesitation still flickered across Maya's face. What if my waves aren't good enough? The question pierced the air, demandingly urgent. Jack's heart ached. Maya, he said gently, your waves will be perfect because they're yours. Your fears, the beauty of the ocean, it's all part of what makes you unique. You don't need to worry about fitting in. You just need to let your heart show. As silence settled over the group, Jack held his breath, hoping his words would find their way to her heart. Slowly, Maya nodded, an ember of determination glimmering in her eyes. Okay, I'll do it, she declared, a hint of newfound confidence shining through. I want to paint the biggest wave. Cheers erupted from the group, filling the air like music. The other kids spilled out encouragement, excited to see Maya step out of her shell. It was a small victory, but a monumental step. In that moment, walls began to shift, understanding blossomed, and a sense of belonging wrapped around them like a warm blanket. Under the moonlit sky, they separated into groups, each child picking their corner of the mural, fueled by the spirit of collaboration. Jack watched, his heart swelling. There was laughter again, but this time it held depth. It was laughter that spoke of trust, growth, and the joy of doing something big together, even navigating fears and doubts. But then, just as he thought they had created a safe haven, a voice piped up from the shadows. What about the kids who don't want to paint? Jack turned to see a boy farther back, arms crossed defiantly as if he were a fortress, rejecting the vulnerability the others were embracing. What if they feel left out? The boy challenged, his expression serious. Jack felt a jolt of understanding. Had they overlooked someone, left the door closed for those still grappling with their own insecurities? The night pulsed with uncertainty now, tangling with the previous joy. The weight of the moment descended heavily on Jack. His heart raced as he prepared to respond, grappling with how to bridge the gap that threatened their blossoming community. Could they truly create something beautiful together? Or would this new voice of fear unfold into doubt and retreat? Hey everyone, Jack called out, trying to rally them again. What if we painted something for those who are shy? A space where they can find their own voice? The question hung in the air, and Jack's heart drummed. Could they open their circle wider? Would this new idea bring more kids to the mural? As they toyed with the idea, the night felt electric with possibility. Jack breathed in, ready to guide them through this moment of vulnerability. The stakes had lifted, and with them, a chance to transform this small gathering into something monumental. And so, the question loomed overhead: could they create a haven not just for themselves, but for every child longing to belong? Jack felt the silence settle as the other kids absorbed his suggestion. He watched their faces, the flicker of uncertainty mixed with hope. It was a moment that could tip them toward something beautiful, or risk leaving someone behind. What do you think? He asked, layering his voice with encouragement. We could have a section just for them. A place where everyone can add their voice in their own way, even if it isn't with paint. Maya took a careful step forward, glancing back at the boy who'd spoken up. Yeah. Maybe we could have a space for kids to share their dreams or ideas. They can draw or write things that make them happy. Tim nodded, his eyes lighting up. A dream wall, and we can hang up drawings or notes. The shadowed boy shifted, his arms relaxing just a little. I guess I could write something, he muttered, still cautious but showing a hint of interest. The idea sparked a wave of excitement among the group, sending ripples through the air. What if we paint clouds for them to write on? Mia chimed in, her hands gesturing animatedly. They can fill it with colors and messages. Jack felt his heart lift. Those clouds could cradle the insecurities and shyness the other kids had faced. It was an idea that extended an olive branch to everyone still standing in the shadows. Let us do that. Jack smiled brightly. But first, let us make a list of things that make us all feel safe because we're all different, right? We're stronger together. They settled into a rhythm as ideas flowed freely. Markers were produced from pockets and backpacks, turning the first wave of excitement into planning. Laughter rang out as they brainstormed fun safety symbols and kinds of support they could paint. What about a fortress? Shouted one of the younger kids. Like a castle where everyone can come in. Jack watched as their creativity spiraled into an intricate tapestry of ideas, weaving a community where no one was left behind. There was a tenderness to the way they began to understand one another. Maya was animatedly discussing her biggest wave when Jack noticed the boy from earlier. He still hung back, doubt flickering in his eyes. Jack approached him slowly, not wanting to startle him. "What's your name?" Jack asked. "Leo," the boy replied, still suspicious. "It's nice to meet you, Leo. What's something you'd want to add to the mural?" Jack asked, hoping to draw him into the conversation. Leo glanced at the others. "I don't know, maybe I can just watch." "That's okay," Jack assured him. "Watching is part of it too. And when you feel ready, you can add anything that feels safe to you. No rush." Leo met Jack's eyes, searching for sincerity. It was there, and a hesitant smile broke through his guarded expression. The energy around the mural shifted further, each child becoming woven into the fabric of this creation. Jack's heart swelled with gratitude as he realized they were crafting something far greater than just a mural. They were creating trust, a shared language built on vulnerability and acceptance. As the night deepened and the moon cast a silvery light, Jack stepped back, surveying the growing mural. Different colors swirled together, creating patches of beauty. Yet, a small canvas remained untouched, waiting for the children who had not yet found their voice. Where would they all go from here? Jack's gut twisted with anticipation. As those uncertain hearts hovered near the mural's edge, the next step felt full of potential. Would they dare to take the leap, join in, and help paint the vibrant tapestry they envisioned? The real test was just beginning. The evening warmth wrapped around them like a gentle hug, softening the tension that hung in the air. Jack turned to Leo once more, feeling an energy pulse around them as the other kids dove deeper into their ideas. He remembered how hard things could be when it felt like no one could understand you. "Hey Leo," Jack began, his voice steady yet kind. "What's something that makes you happy? Could be anything, a game, a character, or even a favorite place." Leo shifted on his feet, contemplating. He breathed in slowly. I like drawing sometimes. The hint of a shy grin flickered across his face before he quickly looked down. A mix of pride and fear battling within him. Then draw something. Could be a character from a story or a scene that makes you smile. Jack encouraged, his own excitement bubbling up. He could see Leo's walls starting to shake. Just a little. What if it looks bad? What if no one likes it? Leo whispered, his voice barely a flutter in the air. We won't know until you try. And I promise it'll be awesome because it's from you. Your voice matters, Jack smiled, hoping to reassure him. Around them, the other kids cheered on Maya's latest idea, lifting their spirits and building confidence. Yep. Just go for it, Leo, someone called, and Leo stole a glance at the crowd where smiles beamed back at him slowly. He stepped toward the mural with soft hesitance. Jack felt the tension lift like a balloon, floating into the sky, releasing the weight Leo had carried. The boy took a marker and began to draw, his strokes initially light and cautious like a timid breeze. The mural was evolving under the laughter and the joyful shouts that fueled each new addition. As Leo's lines began to take shape, Jack could see the tentative glow spark within him. The others started to notice, shifting their focus towards him. What are you drawing? Tim asked, genuinely curious, a grin plastered on his face. It's a dragon, Leo said, a spark of pride breaking through his voice, even as he brushed his hair from his eyes. Jack nodded enthusiastically. Dragons are powerful. They can fly anywhere just like your ideas can soar. The murmurs of encouragement from the group swept over Leo, swelling his courage like a tide. When it's finished, you should give it a name, Maya suggested, bouncing on her toes. Leo looked up, intrigued by the thought. A name? He echoed, his voice gaining strength. Yeah. All great stories have a mighty name, Maya affirmed, her enthusiasm infectious. With newfound determination, Leo raced his marker across the canvas, adding details, shading, and colors that seemed to burst forth like fireworks. Laughter and exclamations showered him, each one building a blanket of warmth around those feelings of fear that had once anchored him down. As Jack stepped back to admire the mural, he marveled at how Leo's section was coming to life. The dragon was fierce yet whimsical. It embodied strength and the thoughts of a boy who had almost gone unheard. The beautiful tapestry was knitting together memories, hopes, and stories, encompassing everyone. Look at what you've created, Jack called out, his voice thick with emotion. This isn't just a mural anymore. It's a testament to us. The kids gathered around, enchanted by Leo's creation, reveling in a collective sense of victory. But as the mural grew, Jack's heart ached for those still watching from the sidelines, hesitating. He sensed the air was thick with possibilities, both exciting and daunting. What would they need to feel safe enough to step forward? And could they transform the fear in their hearts into colors that could soar just as high as Leo's dragon? The night felt electric with unanswered questions, each one echoing with potential. As Leo beamed at his masterpiece, Jack knew their journey was far from over. Would the other silent voices find courage to join them? As Leo neared the final touches on his dragon, his laughter rang out like a song, lightening the atmosphere even more. Each stroke on the canvas seemed to breathe life into the colors, weaving together threads of bravery, imagination, and connection. Jack watched, a surge of pride swelling in his chest. Seeing Leo embrace that moment filled him with hope. But the weight of unvoiced feelings loomed over Jack. Is that really a dragon? Tim's voice sliced through his thoughts. What's it going to do? Just sit there and look cool? I bet it's going to guard treasures. Maya chimed in, her eyes sparkling. Yeah. It'll protect us. Leo grinned, a newfound confidence radiating from him, wrapping around the other kids like a warm blanket. Let South make this place filled with dragons then. Each one should have its own story, Jack proclaimed, feeling the excitement bubble up in the room. Encouraged, the kids grabbed their markers, racing to claim their own sections of the mural as they shouted out ideas. Dragons were drawing in effervescent colors, some whimsical, others fierce. Personalities began to emerge. Every child poured their dreams and imaginations onto the walls, But amidst the wonder, Jack turned his gaze towards the handful of kids still standing back, looking unsure and small. They shuffled their feet, casting glances at the burgeoning mural, a sea of ideas swirling around them. Memories of his own battles with insecurity flooded back, triggering a fierce determination within him. "Hey, what about you guys?" Jack called out gently, motioning towards the sidelines. He saw their hesitant faces, like birds still perched in their nests. "We need you. What stories do you want to share?" A girl in the back, her red hair pulled into a ponytail, looked up but quickly looked away, silently shaking her head. The older boy beside her glanced at his feet, his shoulders hunched. The energy dipped slightly as Jack sensed their reluctance. But he couldn't stand by and watch them miss out. "Let us help each other," Jack suggested, walking toward the group. "You can find ways to join us even if you haven't drawn anything before. Every idea counts." Suddenly, Leo spoke up, his voice steady. "You can help create backgrounds. Dragons need a world to fly in. Come on, join us." The girl lifted her gaze, a spark of interest flickering in her eyes. "I like trees. I could draw a forest," she whispered timidly. "Yes. Can you imagine how magical that forest would look with all the dragons flying over it?" Jack replied, urging her on. "It would be epic." With a deep breath, the girl nodded, stepping toward the mural. The others exchanged glances. One by one, their hesitations began to melt away. A boy who had been quiet all night took a step forward and carefully sketched a sparkling waterfall, whispering about the source of inspiration hidden within his thoughts as they began to add their creations. Jack felt the mural morph from a collection of individual stories into something much larger, an intricate tale of collaboration, acceptance, and the unbreakable strength found in community. In that moment, possibilities bloomed like wildflowers. Jack knew they had started something remarkable. But as laughter filled the air, a part of him still worried about the kids who were still hesitant, witnessing it all but not part of it. Would they ever find the courage to join this colorful tapestry? As colors splashed and hearts opened, Jack realized the journey ahead would be more than just paintings on a wall. It would be about understanding that. As he looked at Leo, sparkling with pride, Jack wondered if there was a way to reach those silent voices. How could they help their other friends find their colors, too? As the mural blossomed under the sparkle of fairy lights, Jack felt it transform the air around them. Magic mingled with the laughter, brightening the canvas of their lives. Each child painted their heart, displaying raw dreams and ideas that swirled together in a colorful storm. It was a beautiful chaos, a new world emerging in lively strokes and shared giggles. But Jack couldn't shake the feeling that there were still some children missing. A glance around revealed a couple of hesitant faces at the edge, shadows lurking behind bold colors. Jack's heart ached for them. They were watching, silently wrestling with fear, wanting to join in but feeling the weight of doubt. "Mia," Jack called, spotting his daughter, paintbrush poised like an artist ready to create the next masterpiece. "What do you think we should do for those who are still on the sidelines?" Mia paused, her eyes scanning the group. "They're just waiting for someone to invite them," she exclaimed. "Let us make a special place for them." Jack felt a rush of warmth at her words, her heart echoing his own. "Yes, let us show them they belong here." With that, he rallied the kids around him. "All right, everyone," he declared, his voice ringing with enthusiasm. "We're going to create a special piece of the mural just for those who haven't had a chance yet. This is our moment to show them they're welcomed with open arms." Cheers erupted from the crowd, bubbling excitement like lemonade in summer. Jack led the way, motioning for the kids to gather around him as they brainstormed ideas together. "How about a bright sun that rises behind the dragons?" Mia suggested. "A sun that brings warmth and light." "Yes," Tim added. "And we could put in a rainbow arch that connects over the whole mural." "Perfect." Jack smiled, pride swelling in his chest. "Let us gather branches, doodles, anything to create a safe space for everyone to express themselves." As they set to work, Jack approached the still doubtful children lingering at the edge. "Hey there." He leaned down, offering a friendly smile. "We're making a place just for you. There's no wrong way to join in. Want to help us create this sun together? It will be shining for all of you. The girl with the red ponytail exchanged glances with her friend, a flicker of interest igniting in her eyes. Slowly, she stepped forward. I can help with the rays, she said, her voice still shy but filled with hope. Absolutely. It'll shine so bright, Jack encouraged. One by one, more kids joined. They dipped their hands into paint, splattering colors that formed the sun, each stroke vibrating with newfound courage. Jack felt the atmosphere shift like warm air mixing with the cool of twilight. A joyful energy began swirling as everyone worked together. Even those who had hesitated were sparkling shades of vibrant wonder, no longer hiding each moment a step away from their insecurities. Maya, what will be your contribution? Jack called out, his heart flickering with pride at how she had blossomed. I want to paint the trees. She beamed, her hands filled with fresh green paint. To make the forest for the dragons. That is brilliant, Maya. You know what trees need? Big fluffy clouds, Mia said, her brush circling in the air as she dabbed blue paint into the mix. In the midst of all the creativity, Jack suddenly couldn't help but swell with joy. They were creating a tapestry that reflected all the varied feelings, thoughts, and dreams that lived within them. The sun and clouds grew and expanded, colors mingling as children laughed and shared. This is how it feels to be a part of something special, shouted Leo, splattering sunshine yellow paint with abandon. As the mural culminated, Jack felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. They were making something that transcended individual colors. They were stitching together a community, piece by piece. But it was the moments of true connection that struck Jack most. One by one, shy participants let their walls down, bringing their dreams into the light. From the boy who sketched a sparkling waterfall to the girl with the tree, every new layer of color spoke stories in ways words couldn't. As the evening drew to a close, laughter rang like bells in the air, echoing as the mural stood proudly behind them, a living testament to their growth. Look what we've created together, Jack exclaimed, emotions swelling as he surveyed the patchwork of talent and resilience. Mia glanced up, pride glowing in her eyes. You know what, Dad? We made it for everyone, even those who felt scared. Absolutely, Jack replied, wrapping an arm around her. This is proof that together we can overcome anything. We're a family of colors, with shared laughter and shared hearts. The distant specters of prejudice and fear were dissipating. They had taken an essential step forward, one that forged lasting bonds built on acceptance. As Jack and Mia looked at their friends, each bright face illuminated by happiness, he knew their work wasn't done. They were only just beginning to embrace this new chapter together. They would spread this message of understanding, love, and growth throughout their community, taking every moment to lift others up. Jack turned to the crowd, filled with gratitude and hope. Let us promise to keep this spirit alive, to keep celebrating what makes us unique. Together, we can paint a world filled with acceptance and love. Cheers erupted once more in the warm twilight. All uncertainties faded, the warmth of community enveloped them. As the mural stood tall, a beacon of color radiated beneath the night sky. It radiated that love would always shine through, no matter the shadows that lurked. And this first mural was only the beginning. You need to subscribe now to catch the next chapter of transformations and the power of connections. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep these incredible stories alive. Comment your reactions and feelings about this beautiful ending. Did it resonate with you? Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share the light. Your support truly matters.